Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mohawk Motors. My name is Jason, and as you saw, I'm getting the all-wheel drive single cab back together. To be honest, I owe you a bit of an apology because it's pretty much back together, team. I didn't show a ton of it because I'm not doing anything special or interesting or exciting or different or new as far as getting this thing put back together. Put the body back on, hook everything back up. Put the bed back on, bolt it down. Put the rear bumper on, bolt it on. I'm basically have just been putting stuff back together the way it would have come from the factory if GM had done it. There's nothing special. There's nothing different except that I put together some pieces that GM never did. Now, with all of that said, I did have to get a few pieces customized. As you saw, I had to create my own all-wheel drive front differential with 410 gears because, to the best of my knowledge, GM didn't produce any all-wheel drive vehicles with 410 gearing. So I used the 410 geared front differential from the truck, which was originally four-wheel drive, and converted it to all-wheel drive using parts from a Denali that I had taken apart a while back. I did make an error in my hoarding. I did not consider the fact that the all-wheel drive transfer case, the NP149, did not have the same size dimensions as the four-wheel drive transfer case. And as a result of that, I needed to get the drive shafts modified. So I figured before I put this thing down and do a few more odds and ends, I would show you that. So underneath here, originally the truck had a steel rear drive shaft. And it was too short. It needed to be about an inch longer to have the correct plunge into the transfer case and still reach the rear differential. It is much less expensive to get a drive shaft shortened than it is to get a drive shaft retubed, meaning cut the ends off the tube, get a longer piece of tube, and then weld it all back together, balance it, etc., etc. So I took an aluminum drive shaft that I had from an extended cab four-wheel drive truck, again, that I had parted out who knows how long ago, and hoarded and kept the rear drive shaft. So I took that aluminum drive shaft and I had it shortened. And if you've ever heard of Quigley 4x4, who make four-wheel drive vans, they're not far from me. So I took it to them and they shortened this aluminum rear drive shaft for me, machine balanced it, and put all new universal joints in it. And once I got it back, I Scotch-Brighted it and hit it with some clear coat. So it should stay really nice for a long time. And like I said, brand new universal joints, shouldn't have any issues with it. And the best part, you can see I've got just a little bit of the clean metal poking out of the rear seal there. When this thing is at ride height, my rusty metal is right at the edge of the seal. It's perfect. It's exact right. So rear drive shaft dialed in. Front drive shaft. Now if I had thought ahead and saved the front drive shaft from the Denali that I took the transfer case and front differential out of, I wouldn't have had to have any drive shaft work done. I'd have had the correct front drive shaft. However, I did not think about that, and I only had four-wheel drive shafts. So that drive shaft needed to be shortened by an inch. So again, took it to Quigley, dropped it off at the same time. They shortened the drive shaft up for me. I brought it back, Scotch-Brighted it, painted it, got it installed, and now it's all nice and happy. And if you haven't already put it together on your own, the NP149, the front section, this section right here, is an inch shorter than the four-wheel drive transfer case. Probably because there's no planetary gear set in there, so they don't need as much space. So if you're thinking about doing this, keep in mind, you're gonna need that all-wheel drive front drive shaft, and you're probably gonna have to get your rear drive shaft extended, made longer. Now, as you can see underneath here as well, got the rear bumper on, stock exhaust, everything painted up nice. I did add the plastic under engine skid plate. These were common on like the 99 to 2002 Suburbans and Tahoes. I think in 03 or 04, they switched to a larger aluminum skid plate. Guys, this thing's never gonna be off pavement. Maybe drive through a grassy field once in a while at a show. So the aluminum skid plate just totally not needed. Honestly, the plastic skid plate, totally not necessary. But I like having it there. In my head, it feels a bit more aerodynamic, a bit more streamlined underneath. So I added that. And everything else under here is good to go. We got the front bumper on. I think I had mentioned before I was adding fog lights to this truck. So I got the fog lights added. I used the original bumper and the original valance. You just cut out around these fog light openings with a razor knife. Easy peasy. And I do have it running. So let's get it down on the ground and check that out. So as I said, starts up, runs. Sounds really good in my opinion. It does move under its own power, but I need to bleed the brakes. So, as far as getting it all put back together, I had left off with the drivetrain in the previous video, getting the body on. You guys, it's all stock stuff. I'm not doing anything special here. The only changes I made, the only not original parts I put back, I put urethane body mounts bushings into the truck. I did wire wheel and clean up and paint all of the metal parts of the body mounts because those tend to get corroded. I had enough donor trucks around here, enough parts trucks to come up with a good set of the steel body mount parts. But got the bed bolted on. That's from another parts truck that I had saved that bed specifically for this project. Cab obviously was from that donor truck that I had. I wound up using one fender original to this truck and one fender from my donor truck. Front bumper is from this original truck. As I mentioned, all new urethane body mounts, all 4 cab mounts, as well as the 2 core support mounts. They're all urethane. Guys, you can get the rubber ones, but at least in my experience and where I've been looking, the urethane ones are less expensive and in my opinion, a better product. So that's why I go with the urethane mounts. Still have the electric fans. I do have a cold case radiator in this one. I bought 2 cold case radiators at Carlisle. I think it was Spring Carlisle this year, I can't remember. From their scratch and dent pile. Guys, this radiator was in perfect condition. It had just been left out in the rain. The box was falling apart. This radiator was flawless. So I got this radiator at less than half normal price. It's been sitting on my shelf for close to a year. Let's use up the parts in the horde. So it's got a gigantic 4-core, all aluminum cold case radiator in it. The factory electric fans, as I said, I did have to modify the shroud a little bit to work with the radiator, but not a huge deal there. Factory intake, I had a Vortec Max engine cover sitting on the shelf. I used that. And I mean, otherwise, stock stuff, nothing special. Color matched, that's such a bummer. Color matched grill from another parts truck that I have here. I do have the color matched bumper cap as well. I haven't decided if I want to put that on or not. I kind of like the black bumper cap. Still undecided. And as you can tell, obviously, I need to get the hood put back on it. Now, I have hit a few hiccups. Hiccup number one, the cab that I'm using, it's a clear title, has 103,000 miles on it, originally a 2006. If you've been a follower of the channel for any amount of time, you know, I want my stuff, I like my stuff to be as factory appearing and functioning as possible. The 2006 and 2007 classic Silverados have a unique throttle pedal. It's drive-by-wire system. The throttle pedal is different from the 03 to 05 drive-by-wire trucks. What happened is I put in the correct 2006 drive-by-wire throttle pedal and tack module, and they were not happy. They weren't getting along with the 2005 computer that was original to the truck that I had planned on using. So, again, went to my horde, and wouldn't you know it, I still had a 2006 LQ9 4L60 PCM. So I removed that and that PCM, got that poked in here, and she's running and doing as you can see. I do need to go into it and I will change the VIN in the PCM to match the VIN of the truck. If for any reason this thing needs to be plugged into diagnostics by somebody other than me, the VINs will match. So I do still need to do that. If you noticed, my brake booster is not connected. The brake booster has a leak. Fortunately, again, parts horde. I have a good brake booster, so I'll get the brake booster swapped out so I can get that hooked up. And I'll be honest with you guys, this project has been very reaffirming, reinforcing of my hoarder tendencies. Because I have used so many parts that I've just had sitting around. Some of them I had specifically saved for this project. A lot of them I had saved just thinking, it's a good part, I can't throw it away. And I mean, I'm glad I didn't, but also, was it worth keeping that thing on the shelf for 3 years? Or would it have been more worth my time to just go buy a new one? Yeah. Hard to say. I'm glad I didn't have to spend much money. That was the whole point of the project, right? Oh, I think that pretty much catches us up. I'm going to do that brake booster, like I said. I'm going to get the VIN. Oh, I almost forgot. So I have one hiccup here. You can see over there to the left, I've got a seat belt and airbag and service airbag message. Luckily for me, the cab that I'm using and the core support from the parts truck had the same impact sensors on the front. Unluckily for me, the supplemental restraint harness connector, which is on the side of the fuse panel under this cover here, they were different. And I kind of knew better, but I thought instead of cutting and soldering these wires together, I'll just put some Deutsch connectors in, because the body harness is going to get changed to one that will have the right connector in phase 2. What I didn't think about, or honestly what I ignored and shouldn't have, is the airbag systems, the supplemental restraint systems in these things are very, very sensitive to resistance in the circuit. And because I put those Deutsch connectors in, it has a code, it has a trouble code for, what is it? Circuit resistance outside of parameters for impact sensor 1 and impact sensor 2. So I'm about 99% sure those connectors I put in, I need to take those out and I need to solder those wires. So there will be a 0 resistance connection, and that should take care of my airbag light. So that now has us caught up. I'm gonna go ahead, fix those wires, hopefully take care of my airbag light, and then get this brake booster swapped out. And then we got to get the hood put back on it. So I'm going to get to it and I'll bring you guys back. All right, everybody. It's an end of the evening update. Been busy. And my list is getting very, very short on this truck. I may actually call it the end of phase 1 on this thing. So I got the hood on. I got the brakes all bled. I got the VIN corrected in the PCM. So now if somebody plugs into the PCM for emissions testing or diagnostics or whatever else, the VIN in the PCM matches the VIN in the dash. Perfect. That's what we want. Oh, let's see. While I was tinkering around with the PCM, I adjusted for the new tire size. I adjusted my on and off temperatures for the electric fans. Removed the speed limiter. I think that's all I've done for now. I may tinker some more once I drive the truck a little bit, but overall, pretty happy. I've got inside pretty much returned to how it was. Starts right up. No check engine light, no anti-theft light, but still the airbag warning light. Oh, maybe not. Yep, there it is. Service airbag message. I haven't done anything with those connectors like I told you about that I plugged in, that I inserted into the harness. And a long story short, when I upgrade the interior of this truck, that's going to include changing the body harness to a body harness that it'll match up the connector to the front end harness instead of having to have those adapters in there. So I think I'm just going to leave it alone for now, since it's going to get fixed anyway when I change that harness over. But big progress. I'm happy with it. With the brakes bled, it stops really well. Yeah, coming together. So I think that's it for now. I don't want to start on the other on phase 2 on the interior upgrades and stuff yet. I want to get it out, get it pressure washed. Maybe that's how we'll end this video. So I'm going up to get some rest. I'll see you guys later on. All right, everybody. It's a while later. I want to get this video wrapped up and get it out for you. I'm trying not to show you too much here because I've been working on the truck. But I've got all my lights taken care of. You can see here in the dash. Start her up. No more service airbag message. No more anything. Just buckle your seatbelts. All squared away. So, my suspicion was correct. All I needed was to get the correct dash harness into the truck that matches the front end harness and has the connector to mate up to that front end airbag connector correctly. And now we're all good. So I'm going to wrap the video up there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next part of this series. Like I said, I've been working on the truck. A lot has happened since the last video. And thanks a lot for watching. Take care.